Hola, and welcome to Molé Mama Cooking with Love. I'm going to talk to you today about one of my favorite ingredients on the planet and how you can spice up your Thanksgiving celebration or your fall celebrations, winter, and make them spicy and make them delicious and fun. I love chorizo. Chorizo to me is its own special food group. And if you haven't heard about it, what it is, it's a spicy Mexican sausage. It normally comes in pork, but you can find it in beef. I prefer the pork version. The best place to buy it is at a Mexican or a Latin supermarket. You can go if they have a meat counter. It's where they usually have it. And most stores will make their own or they'll get it from someplace else, but that I think is the highest quality. And when I'm talking about quality, I'm talking about the least amount of fat and excess that you're going to have on it. Now, if you don't have a Mexican market or a Latin market where you live, you can also get it in most supermarkets. And it's usually going to be like near the sour cream, the dairy, it'll be there someplace. And if you can find it there, buy the pork one. So I have two really delicious recipes that you can use for your holiday celebrations or your stay celebrations, shelter in place celebrations. But it might be a great time to try something new since we are new times, never experienced times as far as what's going on with us on a global scale with our pandemic. Last year, I interviewed this amazing woman, Queen of the Grill. And if you're not following her on Instagram, you need to go do that. She does all this amazing barbecuing and smoking. And she had come up with a chorizo cornbread stuffing dressing recipe for Thanksgiving. And I was so just enthralled listening to her and how she made it that I took that recipe and I created my own. So it's not smoked. You can find the recipe on my blog right now, but I will tell you a little bit about it because it is so delicious that it has basically unseated my my Portuguese grandmother's dressing / stuffing recipe that I've been making for decades. It's absolutely outstanding. Poblano peppers are spicy, but if you take out the seeds, you kill down the heat and you can still keep the flavor. So I start with some fire roasted poblano chilies. I also do some fire roasted corn. I add it to some cornbread with the star of the whole thing, the chorizo. And it is so delicious. My family absolutely loves it. I make it throughout the year. And we're not going to be celebrating Thanksgiving together this year because of what's going on, but I'm still making some and sharing it with family doing drop-offs. So that's how good it is. So you need to go and check out that recipe if you like spicy food, if you like chorizo, and if you're not a fan of the corn, if you don't want to add the poblano chilies, don't make it your own. But it is really, really delicious. The other recipe that I want to share with you is I make this thing called a Queso Fundido con Chorizo. And basically what that is, it's the best cheesy spice warm dip that you've ever had in your life, really. People will sit down and just they can't stop eating this. And again, it's taking that chorizo, those fire roasted peppers, and some queso fresco and some crema and mixing it all up. I put it in my molcajete and I put it in the oven and I get it all cheesy and melty and we eat it with chips. It's so, so good. And if you don't have a molcajete, that's okay. You can bake it in a casserole dish. But I'm telling you that those two recipes with chorizo, really great time to try something new and to try chorizo if you haven't before. And if you have, these are great ways to experiment with them. The queso fundido recipe is also on my blog, so I'll make sure that I'm including those in the links of this video for you. And then the last recipe that I want to share for you with the holidays coming up does not have chorizo, but it has poblano chilies because I love those so much. And it is cornbreads. It's just cornbread muffins that are also cheesy because I love cheese. So it's cornbread muffins and I just use Marie Callender's mix. I add some corn to it. I add some poblano chilies and I add some cheese and I make them in little individual muffins. And again, so good. So very delicious. So I hope that you will try one of those recipes or all of them. You can do them for Thanksgiving. You can do them, they're definitely fall and winter. They're heavier recipes, but again, so tasty and something new to try in these very different times. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is sure that you guys are quite aware of what's happening with the pandemic, how many people are out of work. I recently read that 1 in 6 restaurants are closed, may never be coming back. And there's a lot of information out there about how much food banks need our donations. They need our support more than ever. So if you're able to, please think about making a donation to your food bank. And what I'm going to do this year, because we're going to be at home and by ourselves, and normally I think last year we had almost 20 people, is I'm going to do a multiplier and have an X amount of dollars for me for each one of those people that I would have had in my home, and I'm going to donate that. Now, you can do something similar, you can do whatever, but I think more than ever, it's really important to think about just how connected we all are. And if we're able to, how wonderful it would be to support our other brothers and sisters right now. So I hope you think about that. All right, so you got all teary-eyed because I just, to me, food is love. And when I think about people not having enough food to eat, it makes me really sad. But with that, I will also be doing another podcast that's going to be all around Thanksgiving prep for next week, talking about how to do a homemade stock, as well as how to make the best mashed potatoes ever. So you'll be hearing about that soon as well. And I just want to remind all of you, as always, to add the most important ingredient to every recipe that you make, your love. And I really, really believe that we have the power to transcend our food because of how we feel and the love that we put into it. And that is coming straight from my heart to you. Be well, and I will talk to you soon. And as my mother always said to me as we said our goodbyes, que Dios te bendiga.